Hello, and welcome to QUTV Sports this week. I'm Tony Lundy.
And I'm Tyler Menendez. Recently, there's been some movement in the Sprint football locker room, and we will also see some outlets in Quincy in which athletes can improve their game.
And some QU baseball players have something to say about the new pitch clock. And just yesterday, Quincy women's basketball welcomed a new face, and that's where we begin today. Quincy University hired a new women's basketball coach after Coach Boyd stepped down. Our QUTV sports reporter, Freya Hansen, was there when QU announced the new person in charge and who that's going to be.
Many people, staff members, coaches, and players showed up to see who the new head coach was going to be. The speech from Brian McGee was teasing that the person selected was a person coming home. And afterwards, Josh Raby had to remind us that the Hawks are GLVC champions, and the GLVC is something that the new coach is very familiar with. Finally, it was announced to be alumna Alison Schwagmeyer-Bolger. Schwagmeyer-Bolger comes from John Wood Community College, where she coached from 2024 till 2025.
I think I can bring a lot of basketball knowledge, a lot of basketball skill development, and I think that I can recruit really well. And so I want to make sure that our girls are getting better no matter what, and I want to make sure that we're making sure we just develop as a family and we celebrate each other's success, and just really excited about getting after it and having some hard-working players.
It became 2 seasons Schwagmeyer-Bolger spent at QU, and in her junior year from 2010 till 2011, she was named GLVC Conference Player of the Year, along with first team All GLVC selection as a senior. She earned first team All Midwest Region honors both seasons.
She knew about the position, was interested in it. We certainly were interested in talking to her. Of course, she's one of the best players of the game ever to play here at Quincy University. So it was tough not to have that conversation. But against all the other outstanding candidates, she stood out by her passion, her intensity, her plan for success at Quincy University, and of course, her great commitments to this institution specifically. As an alumna of the program, and as one of its great and one of our greatest players in our history, it was so easy to believe in her, but she earned this job.
The players are also excited to work with the new coach.
I'm just excited to get things going, get things on the road, and just grow as a team, see what she brings in, how we mesh, how we play together, and just to play basketball. I'm most excited for that. So,
the women's basketball team will be in good hands. Freya Hansen, QUTV Sports, Quincy.
Thank you, Freya. For more inside knowledge and stories about Alison Schwagmeyer-Bolger, check out QUmedia.net. Growing concern across the country as international students and undocumented youth face increasing risk of deportation in the United States. What was once a path to opportunity and higher education is now clouded with uncertainty and fear. QUTV sports reporter Carter Lenzen takes us on campus to see how international athletes are taking necessary precautions to stay in the U.S.
Across college campuses, students are being affected by the changing immigration policies and tighter enforcement from federal agencies. Some students who have lived most of their lives in the U.S. are now being told they no longer belong. In a meeting that took place in Pepsi Arena, students were advised on the situation and urged to make sure that they do all of the important things to stay in the country.
I feel very anxious, and I feel like I have to be cautious with every step I take. Like, don't say too much, don't react too much, and just always watch what I say and what I'm gonna do. So I feel anxious that it's happening so much for other people.
While the semester is wrapping up for most people here on QU's campus, a lot of international students will have to stay on campus because the place that they believe was home for them, where they go to school, the United States of America, will not let them back into the country.
I'm gonna look at my visa, and all of my documents are on top, so I can go back, and I'm just gonna look for that I avoid all the risky situations and just stay out of trouble.
Advocates are calling for long-term solutions, including comprehensive immigration reform and expanded protections for students who call America home. In the meantime, fear of deportation continues to disrupt education and dreams. Carter Lenzen, QUTV Sports, Quincy.
QU women's soccer has gotten a new leader in charge together with Ella Wolford. After a year away from the field, Marina Oberschmidt is back and ready to make an impact in the fall season. Marina Oberschmidt transferred to QU in 2024 from a junior college in Texas to seek more competition, but her journey at QU started unexpectedly with eligibility issues. QUTV's Freya Hansen leads us to the story.
Marina Oberschmidt starts her mornings early because she has to go to soccer practice. As an international student coming from Germany, her transportation is through biking. After spending a year on the sidelines due to eligibility issues, Marina Oberschmidt has fought her way back, and this time she's wearing the captain's armband.
Honored to be named captain of the soccer team, and I think that I can be a good role model for my teammates, and due to my experience and maturity, I think I can positively impact the whole team.
Marina Oberschmidt, a junior from Germany, faced uncertainty last season. She was forced to watch soccer from the bench, but instead of giving up, she became a leader on and off the field. And now it's official that she's a captain of the women's soccer team.
Marina's, I think, a very good candidate for the captain spot. We have Ella Wolford, who's been the captain. I like having two captains. I think it's important for the team. I think Marina offers a bit of difference than what Ella is like in terms of personality and where they stand in the team. For me, Marina is mature. She's very good soccer player. She'll be somebody that we can rely on and be dependable at the back of the field where Ella's attacking, and so I think we have a good balance between the two. I think that was kind of the most important thing for me. Marina stood out to me right away, and I knew that she would be a good candidate for it.
Coaches and teammates say Marina's dedication, even when she couldn't play, made her the clear choice to lead. With the season ahead, Oberschmidt says she is ready to turn last year's challenges into fuel for success. From the sidelines to center stage, Marina Oberschmidt is proving that comebacks are stronger than setbacks. Freya Hansen, QTV Sports, Quincy.
Thank you, Freya. It looks like the women's soccer team is in great hands next season. We'll be watching to see how Marina and the Lady Hawks perform. Baseball is an evolving game with changes happening all the time. From the new extra inning rules are now with pitch clock trying to make the games go faster, QTV's Henry Balmer brings us some insights on how QU baseball players feel about the pitch clock after it's been in effect for 2 years.
Pitch clock isn't something that has always been a part of baseball. The pitch clock started in 2023 as a way to help baseball games move along faster. As we saw in the MLB, this dropped the average game time almost a whole 20 minutes. But this rule was really made for the fans. But what are some things that could happen from it?
Pitch clock has implemented a new style of baseball, a lot more efficient and quicker style. But if you're not careful, if a batter has 2 strikes and is late to get in the box, that's strike 3 and they're out. Or if it's a 3-ball count and the pitcher is late to throw the pitch, they can get a free base.
As the pitch clock rule was made to change the speed of the game for the fans, but what has changed for the players, if anything?
I think it's been a good thing. It's definitely sped the game up a little bit more, and as a pitcher, you can use that to your advantage. You can wait the clock out all the way till it runs out and get a bigger advantage on the hitter than you already have. So I think being able to use that to your advantage is huge.
As some players like the aspect and advantage the clock brings to them, others don't mind it, but think that this isn't the way the game was supposed to be played.
More so opposed to it just the principle of baseball is an untimed game, and having a clock is kind of the antithesis of what baseball is supposed to be. So I would say I'm opposed to it just on the principle.
The pitch clock may be a help to pitchers in how they can get an advantage over hitters, but is it really the way that the game of baseball should be played? Henry Balmer, QUTV News, Quincy.
As the rule is implemented to speed up games, that isn't always possible, as some games can go up to 14 innings, which is a very long game.
Sprint football started back in 2022, and since then the program has had 3 new head football coaches. QUTV sports reporter Michael Lanier tells us more.
I felt ready to take the reins. I've been a part of the program for the past 2 seasons, so I know what our guys have been through, what we've been through as a team, and I'm excited to be the leader that takes us to new heights.
The promotion from offensive coordinator to head coach for Kirkland Burton was an easy one for Quincy University. The familiar face and young energy was a big factor when finding the next head man to lead the Sprint football program.
It was good. It was good. We worked with what we had to work with. We were undermanned a bit due to numbering issues, but recruiting's been going well, so the future's hopeful, right? We use spring as a time to develop a core, right? So I think that's what we did.
It went smoothly, you know. All the players on our team, we gather and we rally around him. You know, he's a leader of men, so whatever he says, we gonna do.
The hiring in late last March led to a little bit of a quick turnaround as the Hawks were bound to start spring ball rather quickly. After his first spring ball as a head coach, it's fair to say that trust has already been built between him and the players. Coach Burton rose through the ranks through his years. In 3 years at Quincy, he served as a special teams coordinator, offensive coordinator, and now the head coach. As an offensive coordinator, he increased the scoring average per game by 4 points, boosting from 20 points per game to 24 points per game in 2024. With the record, he looks to boost that as well.
Hey, we're just looking to add to the culture, the one of us culture. We're excited about it. Go Hawks.
Excited for next season, the Hawks continue to stack days before Coach Burton's head coaching debut next fall. Michael Lanier, QUTV Sports, Quincy.
Sprint football has found their new leader with Kirkland Burton. Things are looking bright for their program coming this fall.
The city of Quincy has a high level of athletic participation both at the high school and collegiate level. Having said that, there is need for training tailored specifically to athletes, as well as the proper supplementation and nutrition advice. There comes a time in almost every athlete's career when they need a little help. Excel Performance provides that professional help that many athletes look for. So we're here at the State and 8th Plaza, where upstairs you can see Excel Physical Therapy, but what you athletes are going to want to check out is the gym downstairs, which might be a little bit hard to find, but what you're going to want to do is follow me down these stairs. You're going to see some motivational quotes along the walls, stuff to get you in the mood and ready to work out. If you just come around this corner, you're going to find the stairs and the door to Excel, where you can take your game to the next level.
At Excel, we specialize in custom-made programming, so anything from strength conditioning, speed and agility, nutrition, coaching, kind of all-encompassing in one. We have some physical therapists and athletic trainers that are upstairs above us, so literally everything under one roof from an athlete standpoint we provide.
What Excel may not provide, Nutrition HQ does. Proper hydration and supplementation goes hand in hand with proper training, and Nutrition HQ provides professional advice to athletes about the supplements that they should be taking.
We have a lot of accumulative experience over here to help people, whether they want to lose weight, perform optimally on the field, on the court, if they want to gain muscle mass, all those staples that kids have to do in order to reach that next level of performance. Some of our staples are whey protein, creatine, BCAAs, branched-chain amino acids, and then hydration. Summer coming up, it's really important to stay hydrated. That way you can cut down on injuries from dehydration. Also, creatine helps performance, speed, power, agility, all those things. We pretty much have all your staples covered, and we are eager to help. So if you're a high school or college athlete in the Quincy area, it is in your best interest to take advantage of this help and leave all of the excuses behind. For more information, visit xcelperform.com to talk to Chris, as well as nutritionhqquincy.com for any supplement questions, or simply walk in and have a chat. Both staffs should be happy to help.
You know, some athletes here on Quincy got a chance to say their last goodbye to their home field.
Yeah, senior day was this past weekend for a lot of spring sports, but, you know, kind of in a way, this is a little bit of our senior day. You know, We're having our last show. You know, it's a good time. I'm enjoying it. Coming up next, we will take a look at spring sports and some of their final games at home.
It was a senior-filled weekend around QU, and this means seeing old teammates and celebrating softball careers. Joining us now is Lindsay Fisher.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Lindsay. So can you tell us a little bit how it was being on the field with your senior teammates for the last time at home?
It was actually really special for me as I'm really close with this year's seniors. So it was hard saying goodbye, but I mean, I'm glad I got to spend their last ever softball games with them. Let's get to the story.
The Hawks are ready to go this senior Sunday. The music was blaring and the parents and fans are filing in. Senior pitcher Kaylin Conger was warming up for her last time as a Hawk, which may have brought some waterworks. Then the seniors took the field for warm-up one more time, getting pop flies from Coach Gels. Seniors were getting to soak up some last reps and also trying to set aside the emotions to try to get a dub.
So I am most excited about bringing past players in and that I've played with over the years of my 4 years of being here, and then just enjoying the little moments that I have with my teammates that I have left, because there's only 14 innings that I have left.
It was almost game time as the Hawks finished up their warm-up. The innies and outies took their final reps and hustled in for the starting lineups. All the seniors got to start and play their last softball games ever while trying to cherish the final moments in the dugout and on the field. The Hawks always set up in a circle and touch each other's hand to represent that they all have each other's back.
What I hope to come out of this is just everyone giving out, they're all having fun and just cherishing the last few moments we have together.
When the games come to an end, the seniors got to walk around the bases to collect gifts and to symbolize their softball journey and how far they have come.
It was a fun-filled day for the seniors as they got to spend their last softball games playing it with their teammates and around friends and family.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't crying when they were walking around the bases, but I also made some connections with the seniors' parents, so it was fun to be around them one last time as well.
I get it. Thank you for joining us, Lindsay. Hopefully, the younger Hawks look up to the seniors and aspire to be just like them. We now send it over to Henry Balmer at the Wing for your weekly sports highlights.
Hello and welcome to the Sports Wing. I'm Henry Balmer. The Quincy softball team closed out Friday night with a thriller, battling through 11 innings to beat McKendree University. It was a fight to the very end at Mart Heinen Softball Complex. After dropping Game 1 8-1, the Hawks came roaring back in Game 2, wearing white. The pitcher, Cadence Dumas, started in the circle for the Hawks, and Emma Stifferman earned the win after 4 strong extra innings. Number 10, Kinsey Biggerstaff, launched a solo shot to left center to start a 4-run 5th inning. Number 6, Kenzie Moss followed it up with a 2-run homer to take the lead 5-2. Afterward, McKendree equalizes to 5-5 in the 7th inning, so it all came down to the 11th inning in Isabella Shields.
The game was going really well. We started behind and then we came back, and then we had the lead until the last inning. They scored to tie the game to put us into overtime. And then every inning they were threatening to score, which was very stressful. But we managed to hold them until the top of the 11th inning. And if we didn't score that inning, that means we would have lost. And we had 2 people on the bases, and then I was up. We had 2 outs, and I had 2 strikes. So if I had 1 more strike on me, the game would have been done. I was terrified. My dad was also terrified. And all I could think was just hit the ball, just touch it, and try to get it in. And then I did. And then the hit would have just tied the game, and then they ended up making an error for us to win. And it was awesome because it's been a rough season, so we needed that. But yeah.
The Hawks refused to back down under pressure, and the Lady Hawks could celebrate a 7-6 victory after many hours at the Mart Heinen Softball Complex. With that extra inning victory, the Hawks gained an extra win to their record. The Hawks have won multiple games in different sports when facing the in-state rivals. The Lady Hawks welcomed the McKendree Bearcats to town. Hawks rocked the white unis as the Bearcats came out in the all-black. We start with this Kaylin Conger strikeout after a tough bottom half of an inning. Conger takes the mound again, retiring the Bearcats in 4 batters. After the McKendree batter flies out here to Bella Shields, the defense highlights continued as shortstop Kenzie Moss makes the play to shut down the Bearcats' offense. The Lady Hawks' first hit of the game didn't come until the bottom of the 5th as Micah Hurley singles to right. That wouldn't be enough though as the Lady Hawks fall 8-1. The men's lacrosse team took their first conference win in history this past weekend against William Jewell College. and it wouldn't have come at a better time on senior day. It was a fast start for the QU as number 3 Eli Cohen put the Hawks on the board, then set up number 6 Hickon Steen for another. Shortly after, number 5 Caleb Henley buries one unassisted to give QU the lead. William Jewell fought back, taking the 5-3 lead into halftime. Hensley struck again in the third to keep it close, and number 28 Mason Luoma found the net on a man-up opportunity to cut the deficit to 2. With the Hawks being 7-5 down, the Hawks had to dig deep, but suddenly tensions ran high between Quincy and William Jewell, boiling over into a brief on-field altercation. This forced officials and coaches to step in and break it up. Both sides were issued penalties, but the Hawks kept their composure and used the incident as fuel to close out the game with intensity and focus. In the fourth, the Hawks took over. Hensley completes the hat trick, then Cohen ties it up just a minute later. Number 41, Sean Usher, then stepped up, blasting home the game winner with just over 5 minutes left. The goalie in, number 1, Austin Vetter, sealed the deal with 16 huge saves, including several clutch stops in the final minutes. The final score was Quincy 8 and William Jewell 7, and a perfect end to senior day and the season. Congrats to the Hawks on their first GLVC win in program history. Great moment for QU men's lacrosse. After the intense lacrosse game, the men's lacrosse team could celebrate their seniors after a well-deserved win. The 6 seniors were honored with flowers as they celebrated their last game for the Hawks. Each player left their mark on the program, from game-winning goals to leadership in the locker room. It was an emotional send-off for a group that helped shape the culture of Hawks lacrosse. And what better way to do it than with a history-making win? As mentioned before, it was senior day heavy week at QU. Baseball celebrated their seniors' final home game at QU Stadium last Sunday in a rematch of the 2024 GLVC Conference Final. Jake Vitale gives us an on-field look into the festivities.
Senior day at QU Stadium was full of memories. The Hawks took time out before the series finale to celebrate the seniors that have helped shape the program over the years. Each senior was honored with a framed replica of their jersey, and players chose which family members they wanted to walk with them as they embraced their teammates walking down the line. Many seniors got to play on Sunday for the last time at QU Stadium. For some, this has been their home field for 5 years. For others, this was their first year at Quincy. Regardless of the amount of time, many memories were made for everyone over their time at the stadium. Alex Pickus, a fourth-year pitcher, got this chance on senior day and took full advantage in his last home outing.
It was really fun. It was nice to have my parents, my family, and then everybody else's family come together, and then just to enjoy everybody that's leaving that has served their part here in the program. That was really fun. Going up against someone who's especially top in the conference, and we're competing for a spot to play for a conference title. It was really fun to compete at a high level and do well for my teammates and myself.
Being a baseball senior myself, I had a great time in my last game at QU Stadium. I felt like I smiled more than any game I've ever played in my career, just trying to take it all in. This group has made memories and shared stories that they will tell for the rest of their lives. Jake Vitale, QUTV, Quincy.
The Quincy baseball team faced off in a 4-game series against Maryville University this weekend. In Game 1, the Hawks jumped out to an early lead, as Kobe Essien was the man on the mound for the Hawks. But Maryville would answer back as they would take the lead in the third. But in the fifth, Matt Mateo would even things up with a no-doubt home run. After that, the game remained tied as Tom Konzemius would throw 6 shutout innings. But in the 13th inning, the Saints would score 3. But the Hawks would tie it, big thanks to J.D. Ortiz and Jake Vitale home runs. And in the 14th, it would only take 1 pitch as Isaiah Fudge would call game, and the Hawks would win 9-8. Game 2 was a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel, as Roman Harrison was the man on the mound for the Hawks. Harrison would pitch 6 innings of 2-run ball, but it would not be enough as the Hawks offense could not get anything going, and the Hawks would end up losing 2-0. The QU baseball team took on the Saints of Maryville University on Saturday to see if they could build off the walk-off dub from Friday night. After dropping the first game of the day 2-0 to Maryville, the Hawks looked to bounce back. Kyle Manship started on the bump for the Hawks and put up goose eggs through 3 innings. The Hawks offense tried to get something rolling out of, only could draw a walk, but never score the runner. Joe Huffman took his base, but that was all the action in that inning. Then the Hawks defense helped Manship out a bit with this good catch by Ben Dolph at the wall. But that would be all the highlights in this game, as the Hawks would drop this one to the Saints by a score of 1-0. Cade Ruffner started for the Hawks in the series finale. Against Maryville would jump out to a 2-0 lead early, but the Hawks offense would explode in the second, highlighted by a David Broughton bases clearing double. The Saints and Hawks would trade blows as they were tied in the 6th until Matt Mateo launched a 3-run home run to take the lead. And followed up by a 0 from Alex Pickus, the Hawks were rolling. But after some late game heroics from the Saints, they would go on to win 17-14. The baseball team will head to Truman State to conclude the regular season in a 4-game series as they look to clinch another berth to the conference tournament. Now let's jump from the field to the tennis courts. The women's tennis team finished their season flying high with a 5-2 win over Truman State University, moving their 2025 record to 8-12. The Hawks started and stayed hot. The Lady Hawks won both of their doubles matches. Maya Pachal dominated in her singles match, winning 2 sets 6-3 and 6-2. Katrine Ismailova also won her singles match 6-1 and 6-2. That's all I have for your weekly sports highlights at the wing. Back to you guys at the desk.
You know, I love that this weather is so nice outside to have all these sporting events going on this past weekend, especially football.
Last time I checked, football was a fall sport. You know, how did that happen?
It is, but you got to listen. You'll just have to see for yourself. So coming up after the break, see how the QU football team is preparing for their next season already. The QU football team hosted their annual spring football game. There was many retired players, families, and recruits in attendance. Everyone wanted a look at what next year has in store. University football team hosted a practice like no other. The spring football game is basically a look into what next year may look like for the Hawks. The team began with some stretches like they would before every game. The team would then split off and practice with their respective position groups, working on routes, block techniques, and coverage schemes. So the spring ball game is between the whole team. It's kind of just like a little scrimmage between the team as they're looking to prepare and work on, some fundamentals and then maybe some things that just aren't helping the team out that they can fix for the next year and make their team stronger than they were this past year. The team would come together in different groups until the whole team was there completely. At first, it was corners versus receivers in one-on-one drills, and eventually the whole team would come together. That means it would be offense against defense, and let's just say that there was some hype for this.
Spring ball to me is just a fun time to go out and compete. It's a little bit slower than what it is during the season, and so whenever you slow things down, get your mechanics right, learn the playbook, it's a lot of fun, especially the competition part of it.
Then the offense would work on different scenarios that the defense had to stop. Some would include a 2-minute drill to work on that pressure of clutch scoring, and others would include second and long scenarios.
I think it's just the final game, like you're saying. It is just a practice, but there's a finality to it that adds a little bit more intent. For us, it's just to try to go out and operate our plays. There's nothing really new you're going to install that last practice. You're going to run the same plays you ran the last 14 practices, and you're coming out and just hope you operate them at a greater clip, at a greater efficiency. And then really want to kickstart, not really for the season, but more kickstart for the summer. Go into the summer with a good feeling about yourself, about the team, about the offense. So it's more of a kickstart into that next phase rather than that season.
The Hawks look to make today as a reminder of what looks right and what can be improved for the fall. With this spring ball game, the team looks like they'll be ready for the upcoming season. Be on the lookout for how the football team's season pans out next year. They start their season on August 28th at home against Concordia St. Paul.
As April comes to an end, finals are just about to begin. QUTV's reporter Grant Owens shows us some of campus's best spots to study.
Trying to find a good place to study for finals can be tricky, but not anymore. campus features numerous spots to hit the books. The SSC has multiple group study rooms with dry erase boards on the walls. It has a big computer lab and the big room.
My favorite place to study is the library. It's very quiet and helps me complete my assignments better.
The most popular place for students is the library. You can rent out tables for the rest of the semester. It also has plenty of comfortable chairs and plenty of room for everyone. It also provides really nice views of the sunsets.
My favorite place to study is upstairs on the second floor in Brenner Library. I like to sit in the children's section because I get to view the sunset. Usually I do go study between 4 and 9 in the evening, and I just get a great view and I get to get some stuff done.
With the nice weather, some students take their homework outside and enjoy some sunshine. On beautiful nights like these, I like to do my homework outside, study for finals, and get some sun, or in this case, look at the sunset. QU is holding Wellness Week. Starting May 1st, it will have various events around campus like goat yoga and a movie night at MacHugh Theater. Grant Owen, QUTV News, Quincy.
Hello and welcome back. Guys, aside from the rain today, it's been pretty gorgeous recently.
Yeah, it's been starting to feel like summer has hit and it's here to stay. But, Jake, what can you tell us about the showers that we have today and, what the rest of the week's going to be looking like?
Absolutely, fellas. It has been gorgeous recently, but it doesn't look like summer is going to be here just quite yet. So let's take a look at what we're talking about. So we have April showers. It's been a rainy April. We've had a whole bunch of stuff going on with the rain, on and off, but overall, it hasn't been too bad. Recently, we're going to have some consistent temperatures starting to roll around. It's been fluctuating, all the way up to like 85 down to 40 the next day. It's looking like that's starting to even out. We're going to stay, mostly in those 60s to high 70s range. That means, May is soon. May, we're going to have those summer temperatures starting to roll around, hopefully in the next couple weeks or so, but those aren't here just quite yet. Looking at today's high, we have a high of 64 and a low of 59 later tonight, and those are perfectly right in the middle of our typical average temperatures. Averages on around 69 degrees and our lows at 49. And looking at our record temperatures, recently we wouldn't be too surprised if that was one day to the next, but our record of 86 came in 2007, and in 1996 we had a low of 36. Today we're looking at a temperature of 64 degrees. It's going to be cloudy, and as we mentioned on the desk, there is some slight showers. You might want to keep an umbrella on you for the next couple days because they're going to be spotty on and off. We got our winds coming in at 5 to 10 miles an hour from the east, so those aren't really too much of anything you want to worry about. Looking at tonight, we're going to have those showers start to pick up significantly with the temperature dropping down to 59, nothing too crazy. But those showers are starting to come in pretty heavy tonight. You might want to just stay inside, and if you have to drive somewhere, be safe and take it slow. And looking at Thursday, we're going to have those temperatures rise up into the low 70s at 72, and those showers are going to continue over Thursday on and off again, with our winds picking up, from the west at about 15 to 10 miles an hour. Looking towards this weekend, we have Friday, those temperatures staying at around 68, and then in Friday evening, it's going to go down to 48, and as you can see, we're going to have showers spotty on and off continuing throughout that Friday. And then Saturday, that should be our break from the rain with the temperatures back up to a perfect spring temperature of about 65. We got 5 miles an hour of wind throughout the weekend, and so it shouldn't be too worrisome as you can just go about your day. And looking at this 7-day forecast, as we can see, the weekend is going to have those on and off showers, but as we get into next week, those showers should stop. We have temperatures, staying in that range of 72 to about 77, 79 later in the week, and hopefully those temperatures from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday start to become the normal as we get into May, and hopefully, we might get some 80s, 90s into the end of the year here. So that's what I have in store for your forecast this week. And that's all I got.
Yeah, thank you for the update, Jake.
Yeah, we saw how exciting this lacrosse game was on the field with that comeback win, and their halftime show was just as good.
Yeah, I saw Quincy Sack put together a pretty great halftime show, and stick around to see what they put together. In the halftime of the men's lacrosse game, QU Sac organization organized a pie in the face of staff and coaches. Pies were lined up and made ready on plates. Students, athletes, and even children were ready to throw pies in the faculty's faces. The 6 faculties were Coach Taylor Reese, Dr. X, Dr. Coffey, Josh Miley, Coach Taylor Say, and Coach Kirk. The crowd gathered around as participants took aim, launching whipped cream pies with laughter. Some staff took it like champions, posing for pictures with pie dripping off their faces. Coach Taylor Reese wanted his revenge as he looked to throw a pie in the face of the SAC president, Ella Wolford, who stood behind organizing the whole event. The event, organized by QU SAC, brought smiles, laughter, and a great spirit of community during halftime. All donations from the Pie in the Face event went to support QU SAC.
With that wraps up our last QUTV sports show, guys. What was your favorite sports show or sports story you guys did today this year?
My favorite story was definitely, it's mine, so of course I'm gonna want to make that my favorite. But it was the KC Range story. It was really fun to cover. I had a bunch of teammates there. And I'm pretty sure we got that story in about KC Range in before the local news here, so that was pretty exciting.
I mean, I've had a lot of stories that I've liked over the years. I mean, I've done some, Hawaii basketball specials, stuff like that. But one that I really liked and really sticks out is not so much my story, but it was one of yours. And we got an interview from Henny Balmer, not Henry Balmer. I don't know if that's your alter ego or what went on there. Yeah, you're a man of the arts or something like that. But that was a good one.
I think both those stories are great, but mine, well, you're just going to have to wait for next week with the special show that we're having, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining the QUTV Sports this week. You can find more stories on QUmedia.net and on Facebook and Instagram. Have a great day.